Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our highly anticipated webinar entitled Revolutionizing Document Access, AI-powered project repository for seamless client and project owner collaboration. On behalf of PCSS, we are excited to have all of you with us today as we dive into today's webinar. My name is Sylvester Magang, and I'll be your host for this afternoon session. All right, before we begin, let's get over for a few housekeeping details to ensure a smooth and engaging webinar experience for everyone. Okay, first and foremost, please be informed that this webinar will be recorded for future viewing and to distribute to those that are unable to attend today. So if you missed any part of it or wanted to revisit the content later, you can visit it on our official YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe. Secondly, we would like to request that all participants to keep their microphones muted throughout the webinar. This will help to minimize any background noises and ensures that everyone can hear our speaker clearly. As we encourage active involvement from our audience, please feel free to drop your question in the chat box throughout the session. We will do our best to address them. Thirdly, attendance will only be shared through QR code at the end of the session together with the feedback forms. So do stay with us until the end of the session to be able to scan the QR code. All right. Now, before we begin, I'd like to do a little introduction on PCSS. PCSS is a premier project management solution provider focused on enhancing organizational profits through the implementation of industry-leading practices, with expertise spanning from project management office, PMOs, software training, integration, planning, and team management. We want to ensure our clients to achieve sustained success in project delivery. Backed by over 35 years of collective experience in project controls, we offer specialized solutions that elevate capabilities and maintain a competitive advantage. As a one-stop shop, PCSS is committed to meeting diverse project management needs. Moreover, we specialize in digital construction, covering BIM, 4D simulations, optimization of tools such as drones, AR, VR, to name a few. This emphasizes our dedication to staying technologically advanced and providing innovative solutions for the digital transformation of the construction industry in the region. With that said, I believe we're all set for an informative and engaging session. Now, let's get back to the main event, shall we? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our distinguished speakers for today's webinar. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kamree Aziz. Dr. Kamree Aziz is an accomplished AI architect specializing in artificial intelligence, cybersecure big data system, and cloud-based automation. He holds a PhD in wireless communication from the University of Bristol and has led AI-driven initiatives for businesses and government agencies. His work includes collaborating on Malaysia's first Malan-based ChatGPT for speech-to-text automation, deploying data engineering solution on Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, and developing cybersecurity frameworks and analytics dashboards. Dr. Kamree has been awarded a worldwide patent in signal processing, with his innovation cited by major tech companies such as Qualcomm and Samsung. His past projects include developing a prototype home gateway set-top box for Sky and a cybersecurity dashboard for the state of Sarawak. He is an HRDF certified trainer and has been actively speaking on AI industry events since 2020. Without further ado, let's give a round of applause to Dr. Kamree on today's webinar topic, Revolutionizing Document Access, AI Power Project Repository for Seamless Client and Project Owner Collaboration. So, Dr. Kamree?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sylvester. I think I feel like a Hollywood celebrity lah after that introduction. So I think I'm live. Is that correct? Yeah, I think I'm live. So let me
Yes,
just
can you
this.
repeat?
Let me try to
Share screen. Okay.
the screen. I hope everybody can see. Boleh tengok ke?
Yeah, yeah. It from my slide, I can see.
Okay, cool. So I want to start with a bold statement about AI. Um, if we were to go, I'm gonna be speaking in campur-campur. Sarawak ada juga, English ada
Yeah, it's
juga,
okay. It's okay.
and Malay ada juga.
Yeah, it's
So
okay. As long as people understand.
yeah, what we have is I have a picture of a very scary tiger here. So what I want to convey is that, you know, 1,000 years ago, humans were not the masters of the world. We did not hold dominion over the world, but it was beasts like this, buaya, harimau, dinosaur. Kalau mak tok nenek punya tok nenek punya tok nenek punya tok nenek punya tok nenek sampai ke dinosaur lah. So there is an evolution in the world whereby from time to time people will get replaced or beings will get replaced, beasts will get replaced. So I have here a quote by Karim Lakhani. This Karim Lakhani is actually a very famous professor from Harvard. And he says that AI will not replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. So I want to start with that statement because I want to tell everybody here that it's worth your while to actually understand and learn about AI and start adopting AI into yourself, individually, friends, family, and eventually your workspace. So I would like to go even further than that, whereby I say organizations with AI will replace organizations without AI. So I think a lot of the people here are interested, how do we adopt AI in the workplace? Um, Kebanyakan orang belajar pasal AI ni is more on the individual basis. Macam mana nak pakai ChatGPT, macam mana nak pakai tool AI baru, latest and greatest, DeepSeek. So that's where we are, but that's a very good start. So with that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Kamree Aziz. I memang selalu kena panggil lah untuk buat talk ni with regards to AI. I myself am a wireless telecommunications PhD holder daripada University of Bristol. But my patent sebenarnya, I ada buat satu patent. That patent is with regards to what we call predictive modeling. But the interesting thing is the mathematics behind the predictive modeling tu, it's sama macam what we use for AI. So last time we call it predictive modeling. Tapi sekarang ni the sexy word is AI lah. So it's all statistics and mathematics behind it. So I will go through that. So currently I am the founder of Human Logica. So what we do is we build cyber secure systems. We have a license from NACSA to do cybersecurity audit. I'm also a trainer certified by HRD Corp. So I'm advocating AI everywhere. Mana-mana I cakap, I pergi, I tell my friends pakai AI, you pakai AI, you pakai AI. So I'm an advocate. But Humologica, at its foundation, is a company that builds cybersecure systems. Now we integrate AI into everything lah sekarang ni. Okay, so that's a bit of myself. This is the patent. It's a worldwide patent actually. So Europe cover, America cover. So I'm really proud of this because Qualcomm cited my patent. Ada and the Ministry of Defence China pun pakai juga my patent. So dia ada value lah kan. So alright, so this is the actual topic that we're going to be talking about. Revolutionizing document access AI powered project. Ini title ni panjang is because I asked ChatGPT to come up with the title. So you struggle a bit to mention the title lah because it's such a long title. But I got it from ChatGPT. But basically what I want to say here is that there is a new way of accessing documents using AI, and it is something that even the government right now is using. So I will go through it. But before I move forward, I would really like to know if it's possible to get people to be interactive on the chat because I want to know who is in here. I nak tahu kalau semua AI expert, I tak payah buat talk lah. Kalau orang project management mungkin boleh try lagi lah. Maybe you can just put there apa nama the your name and maybe your field of industry ke. You can do that for a bit. I'm trying to figure out where my trying to figure out where my chat is actually. Chat. Anyway, I can't see my chat, so I guess that's is a no-go. Okay, anyway. So, okay. I hope nobody here is, everybody is still with me. So, first I want to talk about what the takeaway is for this talk. First of all, I'm going to talk about AI, the fundamentals of AI, and how AI actually impacts real-world use cases for us. I want to talk about RAG ni Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So we'll go through that and how that is customizable to what we want. And I want to use ChatGPT. So I will have a live demo here where I will use ChatGPT to create a custom GPT that we can interact with. And actually, the final part of it is actually to show you guys that there is actually a big difference between individual usage and organizational requirements for documentation in AI. Okay. Right. Okay. So first of all, if you go into LinkedIn ke, Facebook ke, or any social media X ke, there is a big AI hype right now, whereby everybody wants to give their feedback or their opinion on things. But the good thing is it gives awareness about AI. But the bad thing is that there are so many things which I feel are not quite right, which I hope that I can bercerita di sini lah supaya orang tak salah tersesat jalan. So I'm going to start with just going through a bit of the maths. And the reason why I want to go through the maths is because I want to remove this scary black box yang orang kata AI ni macam tu. In actual fact, it's just numbers. Tambah, tolak, darab, bahagi. So that's all. So if you know, bila kita belajar dulu, zaman dulu lah, kita ada skala, kita ada vektor, kita ada matrix. So skala ni adalah satu nilai, just one dot on a plane. So that's a scala. But when you have two vectors, it's almost like you can have an XY plane. So dia ada arah, dia vektor lah, ada arah. And then if you want to go a multi-dimensional punya plane, a 3D punya plane, we call it the matrix. So kalau ada 3 point, kita boleh buat matrix. But this matrices pun, kita boleh susun dia menjadi macam seolah-olah satu kotak besar penuh dengan matrix. So what I'm trying to say here is a big chunk of mathematics kat dalam LLM tu sekalipun. Okay? LLM is large language model lah. So in the model itself, It's just a big bunch of matrices bunched together. So we call that a tensor lah. Tensor. So, so tensor ni by itself, dia tak buat apa. But you can imagine it like being a brain. So this tensor ni, dia seolah macam satu titik or what we call a neuron in the brain. So this neuron is connected via synapses. So sebenarnya bila kita nak buat AI ni, it's almost like we're trying to replicate the brain. Kita nak sambung A kepada B tu ada synapse dan begitulah dia. So if I go and if you see this visualization, bila you ada input, dia ada banyak layer tau. So hidden layer tu adalah macam yang vector yang tensor tu lah. So dia darab tambah, so it's a dot product, it's a cross product, however you architect it lah. And at the end of it, there becomes an output. So that is pretty much how the AI is structured within the brain. Okay? Tapi itu pun tak cukup. What we have is it needs to be linked in a way that makes sense as if it's a brain. So dalam gambar rajah ni is a classification punya issue. So if you were to put this what we call this neural link tadi ataupun dalam bahasa apa nama yang orang selalu pakai sekarang ni is CNN, convolutional neural network. It actually has an architecture, a structure behind it. So this structure ni lah yang kita boleh enable us to classify gambar, boleh predict the next word. Apa Ali datang dari Malaysia, dia tinggal di Pulau Pinang. Lepas tu dia boleh sambung-sambung. So you know these things. So these are the fundamentals to it. So but again, it's just numbers that is connected together and provided with a structure where you can boleh buat classification or prediction or whatever it is. Okay? So that's it. So there's nothing scary in it. Cuma dalam masa tahun 2020 berapa entah, Google came up with this new architecture. We call it transformers lah. Transformers ni with attention. So maksudnya dia boleh tengok the whole input at one go and put priorities on the words kat dalam input tu. Still menggunakan CNN tadi, tapi ada tambahan architecture called transformers, ada ditunjuk kat sini. And this transformer with attention, dia boleh tahu, okay, this is the token, this is the context that you're giving me. And with this context, I am very accurate, I can predict the next word or the next sentence. So sebab tu, orang panggil dia AI, is an artificial intelligence, because dia beri gambaran is an illusion whereby otak kita ni dia macam ada otak, tapi sebenarnya tak, dia hanya predict the next word. But the crazy thing is, benda ni orang pakai menyeluruh. Maksudnya dia pakai seluruh data satu dunia ni, sebab tu dia nampak macam pandai. It becomes so accurate and they spend billions on doing this. And that is why you feel like ChatGPT sekarang, DeepSeek is so good. It's because they have this so much data trained based on the whole of the internet data. Okay, so daripada tadi, from algorithm tu ada jadilah. So once you got the algorithm, then it's just a matter of creating the chips and creating the software platform that is related to the architecture. Okay, so right. Unfortunately, I don't see any questions because itulah. But it's okay. We'll just continue. So this AI explosion, dia jadi benda dia macam framework. Ada orang nak buat AI OS. Dia jadi servers, dia jadi chips. So it just became an explosion that the whole world is awaiting. It's almost like every day if you follow AI news, you akan rasa macam letih because so many things are happening at once. And it's very difficult to keep track lah. But this is an explosion. I give another example. So there is this platform called Hugging Face. So Hugging Face ni dia macam satu platform mana kita boleh cari model LLM tu lah, model ataupun datasets yang mana we can just access it. If it's open source, people can just put it there and you can use it. So to date, ini hari semalam saya screenshot ni. So dekat Hugging Face ada 1.4 million models. So I think it's vision models, language models, reasoning models, image to text. So it's banyak lah, banyak. But just wanted to show that Hugging Face have 1.4 million models that they are hosting right now. So it's a huge number. And I don't know lah dalam 2-3 tahun lagi berapa banyak juta lagi models akan keluar dekat Hugging Face ni. Okay. So basically that's the story or the journey from the mathematics, the brain like cerita tadi kepada dia sampai ke framework pada server dan jadi satu platform orang boleh access the model. So it's a big thing. So AI is real, it's there. But what do you do? What do you use AI for? So kita nak kupas pasal dia dalam segi organisasi. So I just want to show this because this is just something that's funny. I got from TikTok.
Tesla versus.
I hope you hear the voice.
We see people.
Death.
If we see
Good cars.
oh my God, Mila!
Nobody would do it now.
Oh my God.
Swear to God.
Why is there a car in the cemetery? Hold on. Just.
Oh my God, we're dying.
Oh my God, he was there.
I suka part dia jerit kat ujung tu. So AI ni, it's so Tesla cars ni dia ada AI inbuilt into it lah. Tesla ni. So the interesting thing is that they're using it to tengok hantu kan. So use cases for AI ni is everything. But we don't really want to cari hantu lah pakai AI kalau boleh lah kan. Boleh juga tapi baik tak payahlah. AI has so many uses. One of the things is document access, which I'm going to talk about. But it can be used for vision, which a lot of people are not really to. So just going to show this. This is for food quality inspection. So it's looking at all this food dia banyak, dia tengok apa yang rosak, ada plastik ke, ada apa ke kat dalam food dia, kotor ke tak. So this is another one. Next one. And it's also usable as AI for safety precautions. So in terms of safety, dia boleh set guideline kalau barang ada tutup ke tak tutup. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but it becomes part of the SOP. So you can use AI for SOP. So macam I think in Beam pun, when you look at the AR VR, there is some element of AI juga kat dalam dia, but it's pretty much unlimited right now what we can do with AI. Okay, so because I'm very thankful that PCSS invited me for this talk, and I know that PCSS actually is very good at project management. Apart from Beam, they also do a lot of project management and they sell project management software. So what are the use cases for projects? So I want to go and look at timeline documentation ni sebenarnya macam mana documents ni evolve over the time kan. So masa zaman saya dulu when I had hair, I pernah jumpa tau orang kerja dia typist, dia ada satu keyboard tu, typewriter lah dia panggil, typewriter tu bila orang nak surat dia lah yang type. Bila lepas dia type tu dia bagi kat office boy lah pergi hantar. Itu zaman saya pernah jumpa tu. But moving forward, we then use Word and Excel. Kita tak type on the physical keyboard lagi, it's all on the computer. Selepas kita dapat type Word tu apa, kita buat dokumen tu, kita email ke orang. So that was the next evolution, I feel. And then the third one is when there was a collaborative platform. Kalau you tahu Google Sheets, Google Slides, I think even Microsoft 360 pun sekarang you boleh use collaborative platform ni. So between people, You just go to this platform and you edit and you can collaborate to make the documentation lah yang diperlukan. So that's how we go and see how we had documentation, how we address the documentation side of things. But all of this, I believe me, in like 1 or 2 years, I think this will just go away. We won't even be using sheets and slides anymore. So that's why I have this dinosaur kat situ. These are all what we call fossil punya software. What's going to happen is actually AI is so good at understanding documentation, categorizing documentation. It will eventually change the way we create documents, how we access documents, and because there's a fundamental change to it, the behavior of how we access document will also be changed. Okay, so kenapa saya fokus kepada project management documents? Because you see, when you are in a project, and the document access to is important, you start thinking about cost of ownership of that documentation. So you don't want to lose the capabilities of AI, but at the same time you tak nak pakai, you tak nak build like a platform of yourself yang mengambil, a lot of costs and a lot of time, because projects are by virtue of their isi project tu sendiri, dia ada permulaan dan ada penghujung. So if a project is only 1-2 years, then you don't want to build a full-on system just for that project. You will probably want to use AI for it. So I'll go through it after this. And because AI is providing you intelligence, so that intelligence is at scale, meaning that you can give it 1 million different documents and it can still understand it and even summarize it for you. So it has a more chat-like feeling to it. So it's a collaborative chat. So people call it chatbots, but I'll go through it. And project management also means that by its essence, project ni dia ada dia punya dynamic part, meaning that dia bukanlah static je. So project tu akan berubah. So there's dynamic component to it, which we can address. And if we incorporate AI into this document access, then everything will be very transparent and clear communication between the people, the stakeholders, the vendors, the customers, the end users. So this AI will enable people to go and talk and really chat and have a clear understanding of what's going on with the project. And because everybody has access to this very transparent documentation, and even if the documentation is 1 million words, you will encounter less errors because you can just keep on asking the AI on the documents. And for example, tak ada orang ingat pun you pakai server apa dalam projek tu, or people tak akan ingat pun berapa tinggi your cement bricks need to be, your tingkat berapa banyak. So these are technical detailing which can easily get lost if you just use the traditional method of document access. So okay, now I want to talk about Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Retrieval-Augmented Generation is actually a keperluan, it's a necessity now when we talk about document access dalam AI. And the reason being is because it is just too good not to be used. It solves a lot of the problems with text window, which costs a lot for the LLM. So by having a Retrieval-Augmented Generation, what happens is when you query the LLM, you query it with some sort of context. I don't know how to annotate, but there's a context thing there. It goes into LM plus your original query, and then you get the answer. It looks simple, but there are nuances to it, which is important for project-based organization requirements. So, so when you have this RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation, the underlying feature which makes a RAG is that there is something called vector embedding. So this vector embedding is it's an enabler for semantic search. So just to give you an idea, whereas last time before there was AI, what we did when we wanted to query something, when there's a keyword search, we call it keyword search, it would search for particular words. So contoh, kalau kita cari laksa Sarawak, it will only look for laksa Sarawak. That's how it used to be. But what happens is, in RAG, we call this vector embedding. When you query something, say laksa Sarawak, it actually embeds it in a way that you can understand it's food. Dia satu jenis makanan. So satu jenis makanan ni, dia disamakan mungkin laksa Sarawak tu mungkin disamakan nasi lemak, mungkin disamakan dengan ketupat. So what it means is, it is no longer searching for particular words, but it's looking for the semantic meaning of the words. So bila kita group together this makanan, so it's part of this makanan. So when you search for laksa Sarawak, it also ties in ketupat maybe, or mi kolok, which is another Sarawak cuisine. So that is how RAG works. It's not word by word keyword punya search like before traditional way of our traditional way of finding doing search, but it's semantic search. So RAG in its architecture enables semantic search. Now, when you have that query in semantic form, you give a very good context to the LLM or to the model itself. So with that RAG plus the model, you get an answer which is more context based to you. Hence the name dynamic context. Okay. So I'm going to be doing a live demo. So hopefully nothing goes wrong here, but let me see if I can just work this Microsoft Team ni dulu. Maybe if I just, you guys can see?
Yeah, yes, we can see.
Thank you. Okay, great. So I'm going to go and do a live demo here. Kalau something goes wrong, minta maaf ya. So what I do first is, when you want to create a custom GPT ni, so it's called a custom GPT because you customize it with a certain knowledge base lah. And this knowledge base it can be anything. It can be the whole tender spec. It can be weekly meetings with your customer. So everybody is on par with what's happening in the project. It could be something from PCSS, kata the consultant says there's some changes to the spec or whatever it is. So I'm not a construction guy, but what happens is like this. What you want to do is you go to ChatGPT, and what you do is first you type in this. Yeah. So what I do is I go to ChatGPT and I give it a persona lah. Kita panggil persona. So dalam persona ni we have I'm giving it a project manager role. And in this project manager role, is actually dia jaga project X. So I orang cybersecurity, so I faham pasal cybersecurity projects lah. So what we do is, so this becomes the prompt for us, okay, to create that persona first. Okay. So I think it's going through it now. Okay. Sekejap baru cakap pasal create a prompt. Create a prompt where you are See, so this is how I would use it. There's a lot of tools outside there where you can actually tell it how to prompt, and there are better tools than ChatGPT lah. But this is what I do. So when you see you are a project manager, this is what we put into the custom GPT nanti. I'll show you. So these are your responsibilities, apa you kena buat. So like client interaction, team coordination. So when you prompt or when you query the custom GPT nanti, it acts like it's the project manager lah. Okay. So what you do is you copy this, and then what you go is you go here, you go into Explore GPT, and then you create. Okay. So when you are in this apa view, macam mana nak bagi besar ni? So when you are in this view, you see ada dua buttons ni kan, create and configure. So before you create, you prompt it using the prompt that was given just now. Okay. So it's updating it. So it's now giving a persona to ChatGPT. Tunggu sekejap. Okay. See, it's giving, now you are a cyber project manager. Okay, cyber project manager. So now dia dah ada nama. Lepas tu dia bagi pula profile picture. Interesting, it's like ChatGPT is just awesome lah sekarang. So that's the very app avatar kita. Okay. So now we have this avatar with prompt with the persona. Now what we do is we configure it. Okay. So it's already filled in the nama, project manager, the description, the instruction. So this instruction comes from the prompt tadi, I feel. And then there are conversation starters. Ini dia sendiri yang buat. So the next step is we need to upload files. Okay. I already have a mock-up here. We just upload it first. Let it do, okay. Okay, right. All right, so now, just like that, we have a ChatGPT with some knowledge base of the project. So let me just show you what is actually inside there. You are a cybersecurity expert, and this is the mock-up project lah, which is a cybersecurity project. So that's the actual project proposal. So I just put something very outstanding sikit lah supaya orang ingat. P. Ramlee yang jaga data center kita ni. And then these are the objectives. Ini sistem architecture dia nanti dengan harga apa semua. The diagram, the parts, the implementation or the timeline. So typical what's in a project, but at a very high level punya lah. So it's a 1-2 page. But imagine you can put 512 megabytes times 15 of PDFs that you can put. So it's pretty much unlimited lah, in that sense. Even for big projects, I think it can easily handle it. Okay. So create import from URL. Okay, great. I think that's pretty much, this is a bit far off. So what you can see is you can start asking it stuff. So who is the project manager for this project? So it should give P. Ramlee. P. Ramlee in charge of the data center. So satu. If you guys want to ask anything based on this pun boleh. So like say, okay, what is the current project? Is the current status of the project? See, dia tahu dah kita in phase 4.4, so I think this might be data that PCSS bagi dekat TKR ke, current status, and what are the blockers or whatever useful information that they can use. Okay, so what I'm showing here is that just with ChatGPT yang kita pakai setiap hari pun, we can create this RAG architecture where it knows what the current project status is, project tu ada apa, the details of the project. I think let's see if we can see okay, cloud services. See how much that is. How much is cloud services? So 64,000. So you can immediately see that it's correct. So you can imagine the power of AI. You no longer need to go and pergi mendalam untuk baca berjela-jela untuk ingat balik pasal project. So if you are QS guy, you can easily go back to your tender spec and just type in whatever you want. So this is the power of document access sekarang ni, and it's going to change the behavior of how we access documentation. Most of the times, it's no longer about knowledge. It's really about how good you are at using AI. Okay. There. So that's our live demo. Let's go. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm struggling with this. With this Microsoft Teams sikit, dia lari-lari, tak tahu macam mana. So okay, so that was the live demo. I wish I could see the chat, but I don't see the chat. Anyway, if you have any questions, maybe nanti Sylvester boleh baca kat saya lah, tak tahu, tak nampak. Okay, so the way that I did that was I had to subscribe lah. So you subscribe to not your normal ChatGPT, but your ChatGPT Plus. But there are restrictions to it. Yeah? So this for individuals or maybe some smaller projects, okay lah, boleh lah. Yeah. So you can upload a certain number of files and the files are a certain size. But the big thing is that you have a cap on your text and document file. So when you use it, kan, satu hari itu, at some point you reach that limit lah. So although it's good, it's fast, you can do it now even, but maybe you need to consider other things for your future project management punya document access. Okay. So like I said just now, RAG ni dia tak perfect. Dia tak perfect because it is a transformer punya architecture. So transformer architecture ni macam yang I tunjuk tadi, it forces the algorithm or the structure to actually look at the whole context. So when that happens, the complexity of the architecture become besar. Bila besar, it means it needs a bigger compute power capability. So when that happens, then you get into cost limitation. So tak semua model want to serve this. So they put a limit on it. Right now, the biggest LLM token context is actually by Gemini. I think it's 2 million contexts, but it's always changing. It's always getting better. So, yalah. So this is what we know right now. So RAG, macam saya cakap tadi, pros dia real time update. Kita boleh letak je. Less compute needed when there is context, but again, different LLMs will have different limitation. It reduces hallucination, meaning that dia memang ada knowledge base tu yang dia access and it's factual. It's also cost efficient, so meaning that rather than prompting a big file every time you want to find out about, say you have a huge 1 million line punya text you want to read through, it takes time lah kan. The cons is macam yang cakap tadi, it's a bit slower because there is more context given. The retrieval architecture determines how fast you get your data, and there's a limit on the tokens. Okay, so that's not the end of it. there's also another thing that we call fine tuning. So fine tuning is whereby we change the parameters yang dalam otak tu tadi, kan banyak nombor kan. So when we fine tune, we give it new data, it fine tunes it to the point whereby kita tukar dalam otak tu lah. Okay. I actually have a live demo, but I think for the sake of time, maybe not yet. In fact, I can teach this. In fact, maybe in the future, I will have a module where I fine-tune models that you can take from Hugging Face and create your own model. So, but that's maybe for a future thing. Okay, but the reason why I talk about fine-tuning is because it's pretty much the opposite of RAG. Fine-tuning is whereby you actually tukar the base model tadi. You kata DeepSeek sekarang kan open source, you ambil DeepSeek and then you retrain it with a smaller set of knowledge base tadi. So it's a bit costly in the beginning because training always takes a lot of money, cost of time, compute. And because you train the actual model, it is no longer dynamic. So that's one thing. But the good thing is there's no limit on the tokens because it's already embedded into the model itself. Okay. So we hopefully I do not want to go through too much because I couldn't show you the fine-tuning punya demo. But basically it's the opposite of it. So it's faster, dia tak ada token punya limit sangat and can be offline, whereas the tadi tu we still have to access the model kan. But initially in the front there's a computational cost and there is a factor whereby because you overlap data maybe there is a forgetfulness punya factor juga. So but you know these are pros and cons, RAG, fine-tuning on how you access your documents. Okay. There are also other concept distillation lah, private AI, but but that's maybe for a future talk lah. So sekarang ni everything looks good kan? In just less than 2 minutes kita dah boleh buat satu RAG architecture whereby we can put as much 512 megabytes punya files, 20 of those files, so it's good enough. And yeah, we are good to go. And what I'm talking here, dia bukan setakat cakap short sendiri because the government itself sekarang ni baru je launch yesterday I think. It's called IFA, AI Factual Assistant. The check lah. It's a Ministry of Digital Communications kot yang buat ni. But the government is already using it. So kalau government yang well known dia ada slow on adoption, dia orang dah pakai. So apa lagi kita kan as being the private side. So bukan short sendiri, memang orang pakai. And I believe this one lagi keempat lah because it's using WhatsApp integration plus it's probably using sebenar.my punya portal as a knowledge base. Okay. So we are not talking rubbish. It's already integrated in the government. So tadi kita seronok lah kita boleh buat sekejap kan. Tapi kalau tadi public, ini non-public juga. Kalau non-public macam mana tu kalau ada restriction on access. So katalah kita ada project, akan kita nak dedahkan info vendor ke, kerja-kerja vendor ke kan, ataupun kita nak dedahkan JKR punya decision making ke apa kan. So how do we address that? So cyber sensitive data, governance, compliance mungkin dia orang nak what? They want it to be in bahasa Melayu ke or what ke? I don't know. But those are things that we have to figure out. Macam mana kita nak buat ni? How do we deal with real-time data? Say we have a camera yang boleh tengok safety procedure at that time tak ada orang sakit, tak ada orang jatuh. So real-time data. And how do we integrate everything? So that becomes a question. So I have an enterprise solution that specifically looks at that. And I believe this is where the AI world is heading towards. Kita kena have a cybersecurity layer, encrypted data. We need authentication. So bukan semua orang boleh access data. and maybe we want to put it in a private server because maybe it's compliance issue. We can have it domain isolated, so meaning that kita tak nak pakai ChatGPT pun. We want something of our own in our premise. We want special stuff macam geolocation. I have geolocation, and maybe the data doesn't come from one department, but it comes from various department. Health and safety ada juga nak letak kan. Finance department ada juga, ada orang dah claim. So project management side, the PCSS side, mungkin dia orang dah they can explain, oh, we are actually 60% and so on and so forth. So these are the things at an enterprise solution. Kalau kita nak bagi dekat customer kita, we need to take into account all of this lah. Okay, so again, this is a picture of it. So enterprise database, third-party system, IoT ke, AI cameras ke, dashboarding, the project papers macam mana, siapa yang kena letak. So, when it comes to integration or work with enterprise, it's a lot more detailing. And what we have from custom GPT is great, is good. Kalau you nak buat talk, nak tunjuk capability of AI, is great. But in actual solution, as an actual solution, probably tak sampai lah dia punya behavior tu. Okay? So, this is something that my team did to address all of these issues. So this is actually just data that we collected from outside. But what happens is we stream this data into enterprise database, NoSQL database. And this data then is created in a way that we can export the CSV directly into ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is also given a persona or a prompt. So whenever we trigger it, or this automation, what happens is it automatically analyzes the data. So it's almost real time. So you can see lah, this data actually, dia punya data can even be used by ChatGPT untuk create a map-based location. So there's geomapping itself. And this is bukannya how to say? It's not. We don't have a hand in this at all. It's completely by AI, by ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure we can do it with DeepSeek also, or open source, other open source models. You can create real-time charts. So even if you have streaming data that goes into your database, SQL, SQL, just with a trigger, you can automate it. So when your stakeholder nak tengok your dashboarding or whatever lah, it can be done automatically with just a click. And it fulfills all the requirements yang I list tadi. On cybersecurity, on maybe branding. So we have that. So just recapping, we ensure compliance, we have a consistent branding, we can integrate. This is the things that I'm doing right now. Even if it's a POC, we can do automation. Kalau nak, katalah some data tu kita nak letak ke dalam FB, pun boleh. Or like macam tadi, WhatsApp punya integration, I think IFA tu dah ada. So why not? We can also do that. This data is all encrypted. It follows the cybersecurity standards. NACSA standards ke, or ISO ke, whatever, we have that. And because this data is secured, and because this data is handled by AI in an enterprise punya fashion, we can have clear communications 24/7. So kalau ada vendor pun malam-malam dia terfikir nak tanya pasal projek tu, dia pun dia boleh tanya. So I think this will reduce a lot of errors and a lot of cost reduction lah. Because when you reduce errors, then the cost will go down naturally. Okay? So that's what I want to show. So the takeaway from this talk, this very short talk, is that you have learned about AI in general, the use cases for AI, daripada cari hantu kepada document access. So anything, it's encompasses so many things. And then we know how to create a custom GPT. It's so simple, but it might not be good enough for enterprise purposes. We understand that RAG and fine-tuning ni ataupun cara-cara document access menggunakan architecture ni There are the pros and cons. So you understand the limits of it and why you should use rag or why you should use fine tuning. So that's another something that you learn today. And that really, when you want to talk to your customers about document access or build a custom document access, you really need to go back to enterprise solutions. So, yep. So that's the takeaway. So as an added value lah kepada PCSS dan kepada orang yang sudi datang hari ini, I wish I could do lah. What I want you to do is, kalau boleh lah, I'm giving away ada satu shirt lebih lah untuk satu pakai. It's an XL punya shirt. It's a Human Logica punya shirt. So what I need you to do is, if you can screenshot this and go to this form, you fill in this form, nanti dia akan hantar tau query pada WhatsApp saya. Because I want you guys to get ready to send me the answer for one last question that I have. Okay, so but before that, please ambil masa, screenshot gambar ni dulu. So semua orang ada fair chance to get a free t-shirt lah. This is the things that I am doing my services lah. I do AI upskilling for people. I create this enterprise solution for chatbots or document access. I do AI automation, so we can automate and integrate with the IoT punya sensors ke or what ke. We can automate and integrate with WhatsApp ke. So that's something that I do. On the other spectrum of it, I also do a deep dive for your business impact. So if you have clients that need cost benefit analysis, we do that as well. And not only on the cost, but we also provide change management punya services. So when you enact change dalam company itu, it's actually dengan there's a way we also manage it, because it's a human thing in the end. Okay? Like I said, I have a cybersecurity license where we ensure people have this Act 5 compliance. We do advisory, we do the pen test, the server hardening, the usual stuff. Tapi usual stuff ni lah yang orang biasa tak buat kan. This is something that we do. And kerja hakiki saya memang saya buat apps, dashboarding, and we can do bespoke solutions lah. And we do, the difference is that probably we do early phase prototyping. So before you build it, we actually give you a prototype of how the thing looks like. Okay. So pada orang yang nak baju tu, I hope you screenshot tadi. Okay, get ready ya. I pun tengok I punya WhatsApp. Question dia adalah, what does GPT stand for in ChatGPT? I hope ada lah orang masuk dalam quiz ni. Ada ke tak? Oh, I think tak ada orang pun message ni. Kalau tak ada orang message, selamatlah I punya baju sebiji. Okay, tulis apa maksud GPT dalam chat GPT. Letak dalam WhatsApp tu. I got one response lah. Oh, ada dua. What's the GPT in chat GPT? Tak ada orang tulis lagi. Tulis. Ada orang tulis. Tak ada orang tulis. Tulis. Apa GPT dalam chat GPT? Siapa the first to answer ni? I bagi baju. Gracias por invita. Betul lah. Ada betul. Ada orang betul. Betul. Siapa ni? I tak tahulah. But it's a number. Maybe if you put your name there, then I got one guy betul. Our girl lah. Cepat. Cepat betul tak ni? Oh, I think I got one lah. Menang. Mana tadi jap I screenshot, takut I salah pula ni. What is it? Okay, I think everybody dah pandai dari Google lah. Oh, I know who it is ya. Nanti I will contact you personally and send the shirt to you lah. So it's an XL shirt. I don't know, that's the only thing that I have. Kalau you tak dapat pakai, maybe you boleh bagi ke adik ke suami ke apa kan. So, Mr. Sylvester, is there any questions that they want to ask? I cannot see the chat. Hello, Mr.
Yeah,
Sylvester.
there are two questions from the
Okay.
chat box.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the first question is from Muhammad Azlan.
Mm-hmm.
What are the list of AI that is being used in project execution currently?
Which that's a good question, lah. I think Primavera lah, what PCSS is using right now, what they're giving to JKR is a very powerful tool. I believe there must be some sort of AI inside it. But the answer to that question is I'm not too sure of giving a list, but Primavera should be one lah. I hope that answers you, Chazlan. Maybe you can ask ChatGPT that question lah later on. Okay, lagi Encik Sylvester.
Also from the same person, from Muhammad Azlan.
Mhm.
Does the information in the document for the knowledge source have to be in certain structure?
No, because the AI is so smart right now. You can even put pictures in, and it would theoretically it should be able to extract the information. So whatever PDF you have, just put it into the ChatGPT, and it should be able to do it. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right.
Okay.
Is there any other question from the audience? You can just simply type through the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself to directly
Mhm.
chat to
But
Dr. Kamree.
anyway, Mr. Sylvester, maybe for sake of time, boleh je
Mm.
message on the WhatsApp tu that I gave
Alright.
just now, just WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So with that, I would like to say thank you very much to the participants, to PCSS, Angel, and Mr. Sylvester. Thank you very much for listening to me for 40 minutes. I wish it was more engaging, tapi I tak dapat tengok chat, I tak dapat
Exactly.
interact lah. Okay, so terima kasih banyak-banyak. And just to say, selamat berpuasa. Okay, so that's
Alright.
the end for me.